Hi everyone, this is Asya Yusufzai, the Employment Counselor at Newcomer Center of Peel, and today we will be discussing about resume basics, basically how to create a resume. So let's get started. Before we get started, I want to talk about the services that I provide as an employment counselor at Newcomer Center of Peel. I help you and build your resume. I edit your existing resume based on your needs. I prepare you for job interview. So I perform mock interviews with people as well who need assistance in practicing their interview skills. I notify you of upcoming job fairs and workshops via email. Provide information about recruitment agencies and job searching websites. So let's get started. What is a resume? A resume is a short descriptive document that includes your work experience, education, qualification, computer skills, if you have, um, if you have, if you have any, your accomplishments. It is usually the first item a potential employer sees about the job seeker. Therefore, it is very important. Resumes do not get you a job, they get you an interview. So always keep that in mind as well when you're applying somewhere, that it's landing you an interview, an opportunity to talk about yourself, and not a job. Some formatting tips for your resume. Make sure your legal name and your English name is on the top of the resume. The length of your resume matters as well. 2 pages max. If you're applying for casual survival jobs, I suggest 1 page, but if you go overboard, it should always be 2 pages max. Your font size should be 10, 11, or 12 point, not too big, not too small. Also use numbers effectively if you've dealt with money. You can basically quantify your statements by using the percentage, number sign, or the money. Include your experience, even the one from outside Canada, because we can always convert that into transferable skills, which is customer service, team management, organization skills. If your resume is more than 1 page, mark all your pages to 1 or 2. Keep in mind the visual appeal, the balance, consistent spacing, and it's easy to read format. So there are different types of resumes that I have worked with, and there are that you can use, which is chronological, functional, and combinational. The most commonly used is the chronological one, is where your work history is closely related to the desired job. This is the one a lot of employers usually prefer having their job seekers have, which is the chronological resumes that we all use, is the most commonly used. There are other resumes, which is a functional resume, is if you want to highlight your skills and if you want to have a career change, you can use this format. Another kind of resume is a combinational resume, where it's a mix of relevant skills and similar work experiences. Combinational resumes is mainly for people who are recently graduated from university or college. But today we will talk about chronological resume, since is the most easily used, easily made, and the most commonly used and preferred as well. Some resume do-nots do not include a picture, date of birth, religion, your immigration status, marital status, hobbies, personal pronouns such as I, me, my, or pronouns in the third person such as he, she, it, his, hers, him, and her. Also, never ever include false information on your resume. With the technology that is available today, employers can easily check on your background. So make sure you never lie on your resume and you're always stating the truth. This is an example of a bad resume. We can go step by step. So make sure you don't have your picture. You also use a same font. As you can see, this is very colorful and it's not consistent. So make sure you're using a same font size and also the same font color. I would always recommend you use black color. Also, the objective, it doesn't sound very professional. Also, a lot of pronouns are used here. I, my, I over here again. So make sure you're never using pronouns. Also, this resume is also very hard to read, and that is because the font size is very small, and they've used different font sizes in every statement. Make sure education as well is not, you don't include your elementary school education or your middle school education. If you're a recent high school graduate, you can mention your high school. Other than that, if you've done your BA or have a diploma from a college or university, please don't mention your high school information. Another common mistake a lot of people do is have references available upon request. Please don't have this, as it's a very old format. We don't use the format anymore. Employers only ask for your references during an interview or an after interview. So don't have that references available upon request in your resume. So let's get started how to make a resume. After you have your name on top of the page, the first thing you'll have is either a profile or a summary of qualifications. It's really up to you which one you use. The profile is where you can add a description of yourself and use strong adjectives to underline your ability to do the job successfully. So this customer service representative with 4 years of experience of account administration telephone sales. Profile is basically you're adding information about yourself. We're including your education, your qualification, your skills, and what you've achieved and what your expertise is in. If that is too difficult for you to format in a paragraph, you can always use a summary of qualifications in a bullet point form, which is much easier. And also when you use this summary of qualifications, and if you have less work experience, that covers up half your resume. And these are the transferable skills that I was talking about. Extensive management experience, your languages, you can mention that as well. So it's really up to you which one you want to use. Either use summary of qualifications or you can use the profile. But that's the first thing that will be on top of your page after your name and your address. After you have your summary of qualifications and your profile, you'll be including your work experience or relevant experience that you've had in the past. This is the format that you use, the position that you worked at, the company that you worked at, the country or the city, and date to date. Employers often look here to see which contributions you have made to a company. Use strong action verbs and name any accomplishments specific to this job. Keep it brief, but provide enough information, no more than 3 lines. It can be more than 3 lines too, really it's up to you. Add percentages, numbers, or any money you dealt with. This is an example how you can use one. It's customer service representative, Loblaws, Milton, the year to year is here. And as you can see the point, delivered outstanding service, exceed expectation, and built long-term loyalty. So it's brief, it's short, and it's to the point. There are other examples as well over here where you can quantify your statements. You can have something like an adjective over here, responded to approximately 25 calls per day from dissatisfied customers, successfully answered inquiries and satisfied their concern, resulting in non-escalation of claims and reduced costs against the company. Again, it's short and simple. You have your quantified statement. You've mentioned what your accomplishment is and your achievement is, and these are a few examples as well that you can use for your resume. After you have your work experience mentioned, you should mention your education and training. So this is an example where you can use your credential name should be here, school name should be here, and the year you graduated or year you achieved. Also, don't overlook any of your training. Even if your training was a month of training, you should always put that in your resume because it can set you apart from the crowd. Any kind of trainings that you've done while working or while volunteering, always mention that. This is the example that you use, Project Management Certificate, Humber College, Toronto, Ontario, and the year. Another example that you can use is if you have a bachelor's degree in computer science, your university name. If your degree is equivalent to the West World Education Services in Toronto, you should also mention that as well, so that the employers know that it's certified. And these are the 2 examples that you can use. Always mention any volunteer experience that you've had or you're doing as well. It really sets you apart from a lot of candidates because employers see this as the initiation that you're putting in to get the Canadian experience by volunteering and also looking for a job. When you're putting information on volunteering experience, it really shows the employers that you're going out of your way to initiate that interest and to get the Canadian experience while working in the Canadian environment. So if you're volunteering even once a month in an organization or anywhere in Canada, please do mention it. Some tips, again, make sure you proofread your resume or give it out someone to read it out loud. You're your own best judge, so always you can read your resume loudly as well. Always target your resume to the position you're applying for. This is only for example, if you're an engineer from India and you want to apply for a general labor position at the moment at Amazon, so your resume has to be very different to your engineering resume. So that's what it means by targeting resume. That doesn't mean you need to have 5 different types of resume, but just a different resume from your career resume. So please always modify your resume. Be consistent throughout your resume. Like I said, follow the formats. It has to be neat, and if it's neat, it's consistent. Never hand out your resume with stains, wrinkles, or folded. If you need help with your resume, you can always make an appointment with me. You can call the number 905-306-0577, extension 227 or 228 to book an appointment, and I can help you create your resume or help you modify your resume or answer any questions with the resume-related employment and mock interviews. I hope this webinar was informative and very helpful for you, and thank you.